Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Love and blessings to all, and good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. I'm going to recite something to you from Surah Al-Baqarah, the second surah in the Quran. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alif Lam Mim. ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون الذين يؤمنون بما أنزل إليك وما أنزل من قبلك وبالآخرة هم يوقنون أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون إن الذين كفروا سواء عليهم أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون ختم الله على قلوبهم وعلى سمعهم وعلى أبصارهم غشوة ولهم عذاب عظيم ومن الناس من يقول آمنا بالله وباليوم الآخر وما هم بمؤمنين يخادعون الله والذين آمنوا وما يخدعون إلا أنفسهم وما يشعرون في قلوبهم مرض فزادهم الله مرض لهم عذاب أليم بما كانوا يكذبون. Okay, I'll stop right there on that. This morning after Fajr, my Lord spoke to me through the spirit of inspiration, because the Lord Most High will speak to you if you listen, because His voice resonates throughout the universe, and there's nothing really in the universe except His voice. So if you can still all the other random thoughts that's going on in our monkey minds, we could hear His voice, and so He will speak to you. So this morning, and I don't normally speak about Him speaking to me and what He says. That's my secret that I don't normally share. It's a little controversial, But I thought I should share this, because what was said to me was, if you want me to bless you, you have to stop cursing people. So I'm taking that to heart, and that's why one of the reasons why lately I haven't been posting stuff on Facebook, and not just posting stuff, I might post things, but getting into conversations, because it's the political season, and people are getting all into their feelings about the politics stuff, and people are worse on that than they are about politics, about religion. They really get into their feelings. So people get into it, and you start saying things to each other that's really not nice. And I'm in a spirit of, in this time, in this little period of my life, that I'm backing up from that. And the Lord told me very clearly, and He blesses me profoundly. And He said, if you want me to continue blessing you, you have to stop cursing people. So this is what we're going to do. Inshallah. I'm going to talk to you about what I read to you, because the theme that I'm talking about today is that we have to purify our hearts. We have to clean our hearts. We have to clean our hearts. We have to purify our hearts. And because whatever we do in our lives, we gotta have clean hearts, and we gotta purify our intentions before the Lord if we want to get the blessing. Now, what I read to you, the translation is this: Alif Lam Mim, and those letters are never translated. This is the book. There is no doubt in it. Or you can say this is the book in its guidance for sure, without a doubt. ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه. ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين. Guidance for muttaqin, those who have taqwa. And they like to translate it, the translators like to translate the taqwa as having fear of the Lord. And that's, we take that fear thing to too much of an extreme. And I want to suggest an alternative translation of taqwa. The translation meaning those who are God conscious or aware of the presence of God. Because really, you're going to be afraid of the Most High? That's the one you take refuge in from your fears. So, fearing God means being afraid of displeasing Him, just like you'd be afraid of displeasing your friend. So, this is the book, and in it is guidance for those who are aware of the presence of the divine presence. I'm going to go through the rest of this because I want to get to a point. Who believe in the unseen, are steadfast in prayer, and spend out of what we have provided for them. Who believe in the revelation sent to thee, meaning Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and sent before your time. And in their hearts they have yaqeen, the assurance of the hereafter, that this life is not all there is. That this life is a prelude to another life. And we don't just believe that, we're certain of that. These are the ones who are on true guidance from their Lord, and it is these who will prosper. As to those who reject faith, it is the same to them. It is the same to them whether you warn them or do not warn them, they will not believe. Allah has set a seal on their hearts, and on their hearing, and on their eyes is a veil, and great is the penalty they incur. Of the people there are some who say, we believe in Allah and the Akhirah, the life to come, but they do not really believe. Or another alternative translation, of the people there are some who say, we believe in Allah and the last day, but they don't really believe. It's as though they are deceiving Allah and the believers, but they only deceive themselves and they realize it not. In their hearts is a disease, and Allah has increased their disease. Grievous is the penalty they incur, because they are false to themselves, and that's where I stopped. Yes, and because the Arabic, when I was saying, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَقُولُ آمَنَ بِاللَّهِ وَبِالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ وَمَا هُمْ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ يُخَادِعُونَ اللَّهَ وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَمَا يَخْدِعُونَ إِلَّا أَنفُسَهُمْ وَمَا يَشْعُرُونَ فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ مَرَضٌ فَزَادَهُمُ اللَّهُ مَرَضًا اللَّهُ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ بِمَا كَانُوا يَكْذِبُونَ. It says there are some people who say they believe in Allah, but they don't really, because in their hearts is a disease, and it says something really like, I don't know. It says that in their hearts is a disease, and Allah has increased their disease. Now, what would you mean? Why would Allah increase your disease? Well, if we can have an understanding of Allah, the Lord, that's a little bit less anthropomorphized, because Allah is Al-Hayy, He's life itself. So, life increases their disease. What do we mean, people in whose hearts is a disease? They say they believe in Allah, but they don't really believe in Allah. They really believe in attaining power for themselves. Because in their hearts is a disease, and Allah has increased their disease, and life itself has increased their disease. What do we mean by that? Well, like we have this group in Iraq and Syria. They call it Dula Islamiyah, Islamic State. And they do all kind of stuff, man. They cut people's heads off, and they kill people who don't believe in Islam the way they say you should believe in Islam. They commit all kind of atrocities. They have sex slaves and all this kind of stuff, right? And Muslims will say to people that, these people who are calling themselves Islamic State, they're doing this stuff. They're not really Muslim, you know. And people will say, well, you're just saying that because you're embarrassed and you want to defend Islam by any means, and you're saying these people aren't Muslims, but they're getting the things that they do out of the Quran. So how can you say they're not Muslim? But the fact of the matter is, a lot of those people in the Dawla Islamiyah, the Islamic State, really aren't Muslim. I mean, they really aren't. I mean, we don't want to blame all of our troubles on the West, but it just happens to be a fact that because of the United States' disastrous war that they perpetrated in Iraq, they destroyed the Iraqi state, and they destroyed the Iraqi army. They dismissed all of these people, turned them out. They had no job or anything. Now, a lot of these people were of the Ba'ath Party. And the Ba'ath Party, if you ever studied that philosophy, the Ba'ath in Syria and Iraq, and these people were like secular. They weren't really religious people. They believed in a kind of a secular socialism, although within the context of a very authoritarian government. These people didn't really believe in religion. They weren't really Muslim in a sense of having conviction. They might have been in the sense of being culturally calling themselves Muslim. But these people never prayed. They never did anything involved in religion. But then when their country got turned upside down and they got sent out to the wilds, a lot of them didn't have any choice but to join this so-called Dawla Islamiyah, the Islamic State. And a lot of these people really aren't religious. And in their hearts there's a disease. So how does Allah increase your disease? Well, people who believe in religion, and we got people doing all kind of stuff, cutting people's heads off, cutting people's hands off, stoning people to death, doing this in the name of religion, in the name of God. So their belief in God only accentuates the disease that's in their hearts. They believe in God or a religion, or so they say, but they're just saying that. Because if you really believed in the hereafter, you'd really understand that if you do an atom's weight of good, you're going to see it later. And if you do an atom's weight of evil, you're going to see it later. And they don't really believe that. They believe in some fairy tale. But there's a real actuality behind that. That what you do is what you get. So there's a lot of people who do really abominable things and horrible things to people in the name of religion. Why? Because their hearts is filthy. Now I'm going to say it doesn't matter. There's some people believe that all we have to do is follow the Quran and we'll have a perfect world. All we have to do is follow Islam. We'll have a perfect world. Other people say capitalism is the problem. And if we have a socialism, that we'll have a perfect government and we'll do justice to people. It doesn't matter. If your heart is not clean, it doesn't matter if you believe in socialism, if you have a socialist government or a communist government or an Islamic government. If your heart is impure, you won't have a success, because success comes with purifying your heart. And one of the things that we talk about in Islam is that when we get ready to make prayer, there's a formula in the Quran which is Aqimu salatu wa atuna zakah. Establish prayer and pay the alms, zakah. But I'm going to suggest an even deeper interpretation of that. Establish prayer means establish a connection with the Most High. And establish prayer and establish zakah, which means to purify your life. It doesn't just mean paying alms, it also means to purify your life. So our formula, Aqimu salatu wa atuna zakah. Establish a relationship with your Most High. Establish a relationship with the divine in yourself, and clean your life and purify your life. So there's another ayah in the Quran And it goes like, وَمَا أُمِرُوا إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ الدِّينَ حُنَفَاءَ وَيُقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَيُؤْتُوا الزَّكَاةَ وَذَلِكَ دِينُ الْقَيِّمَةِ. And Allah only asks you one thing: keep your religion upright and pure and only for Him. And aqimu salatu wa atuna zakah. Establish a relationship with Him and purify your life. And develop your divine qualities. And bring your negative, your selfish, your greedy, your fearful aspects of your personality. Bring that in check. All right, I've run over 15 minutes with this. I don't know if I'm even going to publish this one because it's gone a long way. And I'm going to listen to it and see if I ramble too much and maybe didn't hit the points directly. As time goes by real quick. But that's all I wanted to say. Purify your heart. Clean up your life. If we want to have a world that we want to have, it's going to have to start with each individual. It's going to have to start with each individual to clean up his life and to clear his heart of all the debris of hatred, of fear, of greed, of the need to get over on people. That's what we want to say. Allahumma la tuzigh qulubana ba'da idh hadaytana wa hab lana min ladunka rahmatan innaka antal wahhab. Rabbana innaka jami'un nasi li yawmin la rayba fihi inna Allaha la yukhliful mi'ad. Have a blessed day, everyone.